Is this on? Hello. Can everybody hear me? First, I have a question. Is Keith Opstadt here? Okay, Keith, you're off the program. My name is Walter Ritter. I'm the executive director and the co-founder of Write Out Loud. Before we begin, I want to introduce the commissioner from San Diego Affairs, Keith Opstadt. But he still isn't here. Maybe we'll hear from him later. We're very happy to have all of you with us, whether you're here at the library or viewing by live stream, whether you're participating or cheering on a friend or a family member. And we want to extend a huge thank you to Emily Derry and the San Diego Public Library for hosting us yet again this year, as they have for every previous year, for this event and many other events that Write Out Loud produces. Poetry Out Loud is presented locally by the City of San Diego Cultural Affairs, Performance, and 6, Accuracy. There will be 2 rounds of poems this evening. There will be a 10-minute break between them. We invite those of you here at the library to enjoy the refreshments located in the back of the room, provided by the East County Women's Club. Yet again, I may. We are honored to have our distinguished panel of judges, including poet, singer, retired UC San Marcos professor of creative writing, our accuracy judge, Brandon Sema. Brandon is the past president of California Poets in the Schools, and for many years has been a judge for Poetry Out Loud's state finals. Candace Crystal earned her BFA in acting from Florida State University. She's an actor, a director, an intimacy director, and a teaching artist who works all around San Diego. You can see her current work as a director at Scripps Ranch Theater, where she directed Donna Orbits the Moon. Poet and founder and executive artistic director of Cultural Noir Performing Arts Company, Gina Jackson. Gina has also served 3 terms as a commissioner for the City of San Diego Commission for Arts and Culture, a National Endowment for the Humanities scholar and educator for 25 years. Ms. Jackson serves as a board member for the San Diego Performing Arts League and the Atlanta Black Theater Festival, and others. Anushka Majumdar, our youth representative, is a gifted poet, a junior at Scripps Ranch High School, and the 2024 San Diego Regional Poetry Out Loud champion. Her passion for poetry is equally matched by her passion for science. A prize-winning poet, author, and artist, Jane Mushinetz, was honored by the San Diego Writers Festival for 2024 Poetry Collection of the Year. And most recently, she was the winner of the 2025 War Poetry Postcard Prize and many others. Jane is a Russian-speaking immigrant from Ukraine and earned her MBA from MIT. Another prize-winning poet, teacher, and essayist, Margarita Pintado. Margarita is a professor of language and literature at Point Loma Nazarene University. Among her many recognitions, in 2022, she was named an inaugural Lettres Boricuas Fellow by the Flamboyant Foundation. Our prompter is Associate Artistic Director and Education Coordinator for Write Out Loud, as well as actor, playwright, and teaching artist, Rachel Van Warmer. thank all of you for being here tonight. At the end of round two, while the scores are being tallied, students will have an opportunity to read or recite a poem of their own choice. These poems, some of which are originals, will not be judged, but are simply for the pleasure of the students and the audience. After both rounds are complete, all finalists will be presented with a Poetry Out Loud Regional Finalist Certificate, and the winner and the runner-up will then be announced. Tonight's winner will advance to compete at the state level in Sacramento in March. The runner-up will be standing by if, for any reason, the San Diego champion cannot move on to the finals. The winner of the California State Finals will advance to the National Finals in Washington, D.C. for a chance to win $20,000. Now that we're all ready to get started, I would like to introduce our first participant, Ria Carr.
I Am Like a Leaf by Yone Noguchi. The silence is broken. Into the nature my soul sails out, carrying the song of life on his brow to meet the flowers and birds. When my heart returns in the solitude, she is very sad, looking back on the dead passions lying on love's ruin. I am like a leaf hanging over hope and despair which trembles and joins the world's imagination and ghost. Thank you.
Ixchel Roman Medina.
Militants to Certain Other Women by Catherine Ralston Fisher. You who pass coldly by when the police rush upon us, when they wrench away our banners, beautiful banners whose colors cry a demand for liberty. You who criticize or condemn. You whose claim you believe in suffrage, work for it in your state, and your family knew Susan B. Anthony. Can you think in terms of a nation? Could you die or face ridicule for your belief? For the freedom of women, for your freedom, we are fighting. For your safety, we face danger, bear torture. For your honor, endure untellable insult. To win democracy for you, we defend the banners of democracy, till our banners and our bodies are flung together on the pavement, waiting at the gates of government. We have made of our weariness a symbol of women's long wait for justice. We have borne the hunger and the hardship of prison to open people's eyes, to men's determination to imprison the power of women, you women who pass coldly by. Do you imagine your freedom is coming as the summer wind blows over fields? Slowly, it has advanced by a 60 years war. Those who have fought in it have not forgotten, and that war is not won. Strongly entrenched, the foe sits plotting. Close to his lines, our banners fly, signaling where to direct the fire. Greater forces are needed, reserves and recruits. Are you for winning or for waiting? Women who watch the banners go down, women who say suffrage is coming. Will suffrage goes by you into Prussia? Patience is shameful. Arise, awake, and act.
Roman or Roman Snoobin.
Medusa by Louise Bogan. I had come to the house in a cave of trees, facing a sheer sky. Everything moved. A bell hung ready to strike. Sun in reflection wheeled by. When the bare eyes were before me, and the hissing hair held up at a window seen through a door, the stiff, bald eyes, the serpents on the forehead, formed in the air. This is a dead scene, forever now. Nothing will ever stir. The end will never brighten it more than this, nor the rain blur. The water will always fall and will not fall, and the tipped bell make no sound. The grass will always be growing for hay, deep on the ground. And I shall stand here like a shadow under the great balanced day, my eyes on the yellow dust that was lifting in the wind and does not drift away. Thank you.
Sylvie Turgison.
Ecology by Jack Cullum. Surrounded by bones, surrounded by cells, by rings of hell, by hair. Surrounded by air is a thing. Surrounded by silhouette, by honey-wet bees, yet by skeletons of trees. Surrounded by actual, yes, for practical purposes, people. Surrounded by surreal popcorn, surrounded by the reborn, surrender in the center to surroundings. Oh, surrender forever, never end her, let her blend around. Surrender to the surroundings that surround the tender endo-surrender, that tumble through the tumbling to that blue that curls around the crumbling to that, the blue that rumbles under the sun, bounding the pearl that we walk on. Talk on, we can chalk that up to experience. Sensing the brown here that's blue now, a drop of water surrounding a cow that's black and white. The warbling Blackburnian twitter that's machining midnight orange in the light that's glittering in the light green visible wind. That's the ticket to the tunnel through the thicket. That's a cricket's funnel of music to correct and pick it out from under the wing that whirls up over and out. Thank you.
Colvin Davis.
Song by Henry Wadsworth Longfellow. Stay, stay at home, my heart, and rest. Home-keeping hearts are happiest, for those that wander they know not where are full of trouble and full of care. To stay at home is best. Weary and homesick and distressed, they wander east, they wander west, and are baffled and beaten and blown about by the winds of the wilderness of doubt. To stay at home is best. Then stay at home, my heart, and rest. The bird is safest in its nest. O'er all that flutter their wings and fly, a hawk is hovering in the sky. To stay at home is best.
Bethel Lutz.
Casey at the Bat by Ernest Lawrence Thayer. The outlook wasn't brilliant for the Mudville 9 that day. The score stood 4-2 with but one inning more to play. And then when Coonies died at first, and Barrels did the same, a paw-like silence fell upon the patrons of the game. A straggling few got up to go in deep despair. The rest clung to the hope which springs eternal in the human breast. They thought if only Casey could but get a whack at that. We'll put up even money now with Casey at the bat. But Fling preceded Casey, as did also Jimmy Blake, and the former was a hoodoo, while the latter was a cake. So upon that stricken multitude grimmed melancholy sat, for there seemed but little chance of Casey getting to the bat. But Fling let drive a single to the wonderment of all, and Blake, the much despised, tore the cover off the ball. And when the dust had lifted, and men saw what had occurred, there's Jimmy safe at second, and Flynn a hugging third. Then from 5,000 throats and more, there rose a lusty yell. It rumbled in the valley, it rattled in the dell, it pounded on the mountains, and recoiled upon the flat. For Casey, mighty Casey, was advancing to the bat. There is ease in Casey's manner as he stepped into his place. There's pride in Casey's bearing and a smile at Casey's face. And when responding to the cheers, he lightly doffed his hat. No stranger in the crowd could doubt 'twas Casey at the bat. 10,000 eyes were on him as he rubbed his hands with dirt. 5,000 tongues applauded when he wiped them on his shirt. Then, while the withering pitcher grounded the ball into his hip, defiance flashed Casey's eyes. A sneer curled Casey's lip. And now, the leather-covered sphere came hurtling through the air, and Casey stood watching it in a haughty grandeur there. Close by the sturdy batsman, the ball unheeded sped. "That ain't my style," said Casey. "Strike one," the umpire said. From the benches black with people, there went up a muffled roar, like the beating of a storm wave on a stern, distant shore. "Kill him! Kill the umpire!" shouted someone on the stand. And it's likely they had killed him had not Casey raised his hand. With a smile of Christian charity, great Casey's visage shone. He stilled the rising tumult. He bade the game go on. He signaled to the pitcher, and once more the Dunsphere flew. But Casey still ignored it, and the umpire said, "Strike two." "Fraud," cried the maddened thousand, and answered, "Fraud," but one scornful look from Casey, and the audience was awed. They saw his face grow stern and cold. They saw his muscles strain, and they knew that Casey wouldn't let that ball go by again. The sneer is gone from Casey's lips. His teeth are clenched in hate. He pounds with cruel violence his bat upon the plate. And now the pitcher holds the ball, and now he lets it go. And now the air is shattered by the force of Casey's blow. Oh, somewhere in this favored land, the sun is shining bright. The band is playing somewhere, and somewhere hearts are light. And somewhere men are laughing, and somewhere children shout. But there's no joy in Mudville. Mighty Casey has struck out. Thank you.
Mila Separak.
Fire and Ice by Robert Frost. Some say the world will end in fire. Some say in ice. From what I have tasted of desire, I hold with those who favor fire. But if it had perished twice, I think I know enough of hate to know that for destruction, ice is also great and would suffice. Thank you.
Silas Griffiths.
Israfel by Edgar Allan Poe. And the angel Israfel, whose heartstrings are lute, and who has the sweetest voice of all God's creatures, Quran. In heaven a spirit doth dwell, whose heartstrings are a lute. None sing so wildly well as the angel Israfel. And the giddy stars, so legends tell, ceasing their hymns, attend the spell of his voice, all mute. Tottering above in her highest noon, the enamored moon blushes with love, while to listen, the red levin, with the rapid Pleiades even, which were 7, pauses in heaven. And they say, the starry choir and other listening things, that Israfeli's fire is owning to that lyre by which he sits and sings the trembling living wire of those unusual strings. But the skies that angel trod, where deep thoughts are a duty, where love's a grown-up god, where the hoary glances are imbued with all the beauty which we worship in a star. Therefore, thou art not wrong, Israfeli, who despisest in unimpassioned song. To thee the laurels belong, best bard because the wisest, to merrily live and long. The ecstasies above with thy burning measure suit, thy grief, thy joy, thy hate, thy love with the further of thy lute. Well, may all the stars be mute. Yes, heaven is thine, but this is a world of sweets and sours. Our flowers are merely flowers, and the shadow of thy perfect bliss is the sunshine of ours. If I could dwell where Israfel hath dwelt, if Israfel can dwell, he might not sing so wildly well a mortal melody, while a bolder note than this might swell from my lyre within the sky. Thank you.
Skylar Hartman.
Song of Myself 3 by Walt Whitman. I have heard what the talkers were talking. The talk of the beginning and the end. But I do not talk of the beginning or the end. There was never any more inception than there is now, nor any more youth or age than there is now, and will never be any more perfection than there is now, nor any more heaven or hell than there is now. Urge and urge and urge, always the procreant urge of the world. Out of the dimness, opposite equals advance. Always substance and increase, always sex, always a knit of identity, always distinction, always a breed of life. To elaborate is no avail. Learned and unlearned feel that it is so. Sure as the most certain shore, plumb in the uprights, well entre tide, braced in the beams. Stout as a horse, affectionate, haughty, electrical. I and this mystery, here we stand. Clear and sweet is my soul, and clear and sweet is all that is not my soul. Lack one lacks both, and the unseen is proved by the seen, till that becomes seen and receives proof in its turn. Showing the best and dividing it from the worst age vexes age, knowing the perfect fitness and equanimity of things, while they discuss, I am silent and go bathe and admire myself. Welcome is every organ and attribute of me, and of any man hearty and clean. Not an inch nor a particle of an inch is vile, and none shall be less familiar than the rest. I am satisfied. I see, dance, laugh, sing. As the hugging and loving bedfellow sleeps at my side through the night and withdraws at the peep of day with stealthy tread, leaving me baskets covered with white towels, swelling the house with their plenty. Shall I postpone my acceptation and realization and scream at my eyes that they turn from gazing after and down the road and forthwith cipher and show me to a cent exactly the value of one and exactly the value of two, and which one is ahead? Thank you.
Yeekshel McGee.
Prairie Spring by Willa Cather. Evening in the flatland, rich and somber and always silent. The miles of fresh plowed soil, heavy and black, full of strength and harshness. The growing wheat, the growing weeds, the toiling horse, the tired men. The long, empty roads, sullen fires of sunset fading. The eternal, unresponsive sky. Against all this, youth, flaming like the wild roses, singing like the larks over the plowed fields, flashing like a star out of the twilight. Youth with its unsupportable sweetness, its fierce necessity, its sharp desire. Singing and singing out of the lips of silence, out of the earthy dusk. Thank you.
Margie Kalak.
Song of Myself, 26, by Walt Whitman. Now I will do nothing but listen to accrue what I hear into this song, to let sounds contribute toward it. I hear bravuras of birds, bustle of growing wheat, gossip of flames, clack of sticks cooking. My meals. I hear the sound I love, the sound of the human voice. I hear all sounds running together, combined, fused, or following. Sounds of the city and sounds out of the city. Sounds of the day and night. Talkative young ones to those that like them. The loud laugh of work people at their meals. The angry bass of disjointed friendship. the faint tones of the sick. The judge, with hands tight to the desk, his pallid lips pronouncing a death sentence. The Hevio of stevedores, unlading ships by the wharves. The refrain of the anchor lifters. The ring of alarm bells, the cry of fire, the whir of swift streaking engines and hose carts with premonitory tinkles and colored lights. The steam whistle. The solid roll of the train approaching cars. The slow march played at the head of the association marching two and two. They go to guard some corpse. The flag tops are draped with black muslin. I hear the violoncello. 'Tis the young man's heart's complaint. I hear the keyed cornet. It glides quickly in through my ears. It shakes mad, sweet pangs through my belly and breast. I hear the chorus. It is a grand opera. Ah, this indeed is music. This suits me. A tenor, large and fresh as the creation, fills me. The orbic flex of his mouth is pouring and filling me full. I hear the trained soprano. What work with hers is this? The orchestra whirls me wider than Uranus flies. It wrenches such ardors from me. I did not know I possessed them. It sails me. I dab with bare feet. They are licked by the indolent waves. I am cut by bitter and angry hail. I lose my breath. Steeped amid honeyed morphine, my windpipe throttled in fakes of death, at length let up again to feel the puzzle of puzzles, and that we call being.
Serena Lee.
Before the Birth of One of Her Children by Anne Bradstreet. All things within this fading world hath end. Adversity doth still our joys attend. No tie so strong, no friend so dear and sweet, but with death's parting blow is sure to meet. The sentence passed is most irrevocable, a common thing yet, oh, inevitable. How soon, my dear, death may my steps attend. How soon may be thy lot to lose thy friend. We are both ignorant, yet love bids me these farewell lines to recommend to thee, that when that knot's untied that made us one, I may seem thine, who in effect am none. And if I see not half my days that's due, what nature would, God grant to yours and you. The many faults that, well, you know I have, let be interred in my oblivious grave. If any worth or virtue were in me, let that live freshly in thy memory. And when thou feelst no grief, as I no harms, yet love thy dead who long lay in thine arms. And when thy loss shall be repaid with gains, look to my little babes, my dear remains. And if thou love thyself, or lovest me, these, O protect from stepdame's injury. And if chance to thine eyes shall bring this verse, with some sad sighs, honor my absent hearse, and kiss this paper for thy love's dear sake, who with salt tears this last farewell did take. Thank you.
Well, the first round has ended. And I'd like to say to all you participants, congratulations on a very successful first round of competition. We will soon take a 10-minute break as promised, but first, I'd like to draw your attention to the back page of tonight's program. The American Literary Heroes is Write Out Loud's participation in our nation's 250th celebration of nationhood. And it's going to be a fabulous thing. Particularly of interest, I should think, to any educators in the audience. So please take a look. If you'd like to know what we're up to, how to get involved, just contact Write Out Loud. Now break time. The refreshments are in the back of the room. please come to the front and take your seats? I don't think that's on. Hello, would all the participants please come forward and take your seats? Thank you.
So if you need to, you can adjust.
Ria Carr.
Collectors by Marion Strobel. The barnacle of crowds, like a tuck on a finished skirt, unnoticed, he collected his material covertly, a rag picker, a scavenger of words. And the gleanings of his hearing he would costume in his own words and parade before a listener, so that now, across the teacup, he was telling of his research, of his study, of his deep thought-out conclusions. And the lady, connoisseur of old thoughts bound in new gilt bindings, smiled approval at the finding of another curio to place in her long gallery. Thank you.
Ixchel Roman Medina.
Oh, Captain, my Captain, by Walt Whitman. Oh, Captain, my Captain, our fearful trip is done. The ship has weathered every rag. The prize we sought is won. The port is near, the bells I hear, the people all exulting. While follow eyes the steady keel, the vessel grim and daring. But oh, hard, 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 oh, the bleeding drops of red, where on the deck my captain lies, fallen, cold, and dead. Oh, Captain, my Captain, rise up and hear the bells. Rise up, for you the flag is flung, for you the bugle thrills, for you bouquets and ribbon wreaths, for you the shores a crowding, for you they call the swaying mass, their eager faces turning. Here, Captain, dear father, this arm beneath your head. It is some dream that on the deck you've fallen, cold and dead. My captain does not answer. His lips are pale and still. My father does not feel my arm. He has no pulse nor will. The ship is safe and sound its voyage closed and done. From fearful trip, the victor ship comes in with object won. Exalt, O shores, and ring, O bells. But I, with mournful tread, walk the deck my captain lies, fallen, cold, and dead. Thank you.
Roman Snoobin.
Siren Song by Margaret Atwood. This is the one song everyone would like to learn. The song that is irresistible. The song that forces men to leap overboard in squadrons, even though they see the beached skulls. The song nobody knows because anyone who has heard it is dead, and the others can't remember. Shall I tell you the secret? And if I do, will you get me out of this bird suit? I don't enjoy it here, squatting on this island, looking picturesque and mythical with these two feathery maniacs. I don't enjoy singing this trio, fatal and valuable. I'll tell the secret to you, only to you. Come closer. This song is a cry for help. Help me. Only you can. You are unique. At last. Alas, it is a boring song, but it works every time. Thank you.
Sylvie Turgison.
The Robots Are Coming by Kyle Dargan. With clear-cased woofers for heads, no eyes, they see us as a bat sees a mosquito. A fleshy echo, a morsel of sound. You've heard their intergalactic tour buses purring at our stratosphere's curb. They await counterintelligence transmissions from our laptops and our blue teeth. Await word of humanity's critical mass, our ripening. How many times have we dreamed it this way? The age of the machines. Post-industrial terrors whose tempered paws, 5 welded fingers, wrench back our roofs, hydrophilic tongues seeking blood, licking the crumbs of us from our beds. O great nation, it won't be pretty. What land will we now barter for our lives? A treaty inked in advance of the metal one's footfall. Give them Gary. Give them Detroit, Pittsburgh, Braddock, those forgotten nurseries of girders and axles. Tell the machines we mourn, their dead, distant cousins. Tell them we tendered those cities to repose out of respect for welded steel's bygone era. Tell them Ford and Carnegie were giant men, that war glazed their palms with gold. Tell them we soft beings mourn manufacture's death as our own. Thank you.
Colvin Davis.
A Time to Talk by Robert Frost. When a friend calls to me from the road and slows his horse to a meaning walk, I don't stand still and look around on all the hills I haven't hoed and shout from where I am, "What is it?" No, not as there is a time to talk. I thrust my hoe in the mellow ground, blade end up and 5 feet tall, and plod. I go up to the stone wall for a friendly visit.
Bethel Lutz.
Trees by Joyce Kilmer. I think that I shall never see a poem lovely as a tree whose hungry mouth is pressed against the earth's sweet, flowing breast. A tree that looks at God all day and lifts her leafy arms to pray. A tree that may in summer wear a nest of robins in her hair, upon whose bosom snow has lain, who intimately lives with rain. Poems are made by fools like me, but only God can make a tree. Thank you.
Mila Separak.
I will forget you presently, my dear. Sonnet 4 by Ina St. Vincent Millay. I will forget you presently, my dear. So make the most of this. Your little day, your little month, your little half a year, ere I forget or die or move away, and we are done forever. By and by, I will forget you, as I said, but now, if you entrust me with your loveless lie, I will protest you with my favorite vow. I would indeed that love were longer lived, and vows not so brittle as they are, but so it is. and nature has contrived to struggle on without a break thus far. Whether or not we find what we are seeking is idle, biologically speaking. Thank you.
Silas Griffiths.
O Captain, my Captain, by Walt Whitman. O Captain, my Captain, our fearful trip is done. The ship has weathered every rack. The prize we sought is won. The port is near. The bells I hear. The people all exulting. While follow I as the steady keel, the vessel, grim and daring. But, oh, heart, 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 oh, the bleeding drops of red, where on the deck my captain lies, falling cold and dead. Oh, Captain, my Captain, rise up and hear the bells. Rise up, for you the flag is flung, for you the bugle trills, for you bouquets and ribbon wreaths, for you the shores a crowding, for you they call the swaying mass, their eager faces turning. Your Captain, dear father, this arm beneath your head, it is some dream that on the deck you've fallen cold and dead. My captain does not answer, his lips are pale and still. My father does not feel my arm, he has no pulse nor will. The ship is anchored safe and sound, its voyage closed and done. From fearful trip the victor ship comes in with object won. Exult, O shores, and ring, O bells, but I, with mournful tread, walk the deck my captain lies, fallen cold and dead. Thank you.
Skylar Hartman.
The Contrast by Frances Ellen Watkins. They scorned her for her sinning, spoke harshly of her fall, nor lent the hand of mercy to break her hated thrall. The dews of meek repentance stood in her downcast eye. Would no one heed her anguish? I'll pass her coldly by. From the cold, averted glances of each reproachful eye, she turned aside, heart broken, and laid her down to die. And where was he who sullied her once unspotted name, who lured her from life's brightness to agony and shame? Who left her on life's billows, a wrecked and ruined thing? Who brought the winter of despair upon hope's blooming spring? Through the halls of wealth and fashion, in gaiety and pride, he was leading to the altar a fair and lovely bride. None scorned him for his sinning. Few saw it through his gold. His crimes were only foibles, and those were gently told. Before him rose a vision, a maid of beauty rare, then a pale, heartbroken woman, the image of despair. Next came a sad procession with many a sob and tear, a widowed, childless mother tottered by an humble bier. The vision quickly faded, the sad, unwelcome sight. But his his lip forgot its laughter, and his eye its careless light. A moment, and the floodgates of memory opened wide, and remorseful recollection flowed like a lava tide. That widow's wail of anguish seemed strangely blending there, and mid the soft lights floated that image of despair.
Ikshel McGee.
The Old Suffragist by Margaret Whittemore. She could have loved. Her woman passions beat deeper than theirs, or else she had not known how to have dropped her heart beneath their feet, a living stepping stone. The little hands, did they not clutch her heart? The guarding arms, was she not very tired? Was it an easy thing to walk apart, unresting and undesired? She gave away her crown of woman praise, her gentleness and silent girlhood grace, to be merriment for idle days, scorn for the marketplace. She strove for an unvisioned, far-off good, for one far hope she knew she could not see. These, not her daughters, crowned with motherhood and love and beauty, free. Thank you.
Margie Kalak.
It Was Not Fate by William H.A. Moore. It was not fate which overtook me, rather a wayward, willful wind that blew hot for a while, and then, as the even shadows came, blew cold. What pity it is that a man grown old in life's dreaming should stop, even for a moment, to look into a woman's eyes. And I forgot that one's heart must be steeled against the east wind. Life and death alike come out of the east. Life as tender as young grass. Death as dreadful as the sight of clotted blood. I shall go back into the darkness, not to dream, but to seek the light again. I shall go by paths, mayhap, on roads that wind around the foothills, where the plains are bare and wild, and the passers-by come few and far between. I want the night to be long, the moon blind, the hills thick with moving memories, and my heart beating a breathless requiem for all the dead days I have lived. when the dawn comes, dawn, deathless, dreaming, I shall will that my soul must be cleansed of hate. I shall pray for strength to hold children close to my heart. I shall desire to build houses where the poor will know shelter, comfort, beauty. And then may I look into a woman's eyes and find holiness, love, and the peace which passeth understanding.
Serena Lee.
Ships That Pass in the Night by Paul Laurence Dunbar. Out in the sky, the great dark clouds are massing. I look far out into the pregnant night, where I can hear a solemn, booming gun, and catch the gleaming of a random light that tells me that the ship I seek is passing, passing. My tearful eyes, my soul's deep hurt are glassing, for I would hail and check that ship of ships. I stretch my hands, imploring, cry aloud. My voice falls dead, a foot from mine own lips. And but its ghost doth reach that vessel, passing, passing. O earth, O sky, O oceans, both surpassing. O heart of mine, O soul that dreads the dark. Is there no hope for me? Is there no way that I may sight and check that speeding bark, which out of sight and sound is passing, passing? Thank you.
Well, now it's in the hands of the judges. While they finalize their scoring and tabulating all of the scores, let's congratulate all of our participants. Now, I understand that at least some of our competitors have a poem or two that they would like to recite or read to fill the time while the judges are scoring up. Is that true?
Yes, sir.
What, would you like to?
May I get my phone?
Yes, of course. May I also get my phone? Yes, by all means. Go, please do. Sylvie will follow you.
Okay. So, I write poems. But I wrote this poem a year ago. I was gonna share something else tonight, but I don't know. I don't know if you've ever gone through a time where you're just happy like all the time. And then you find just there's something that it makes you the right kind of sad. And that mom, you probably understand. So yesterday, my baby brother was sick, right? And I was scared. and I was reminded of all the other times I was scared. And I've gone through a lot of grief, and one of my favorite poems that I wrote on it was called Combat Blues, and I'd like to share that with you all tonight. That one song comes on again, and I'm waiting for my friend to start singing the chorus with me hand in hand. Come on now, raise the roof, and my two hands know the truth that you're there probably reaching down. But you're the lucky one with God's crown, and I'm thinking, you'd think with time that it'd get easier. You'd think with age that it'd get easier. So I'll just wipe my eyes and tie my shoes and combat blues, 'cause till I beat time, I'll just keep squeezing you. Familiar faces, comfy places, solemnly walking and receiving graces. Where were the traces of the worst cases? Why weren't the aces running their best races? Yeah, I get it, but I don't at the same time. God, I love you. Don't forget me when I chime. You'd think with time that it'd get easier. You'd think with age that it'd get easier. So I'll just wipe my eyes and tie my shoes in combat blues, 'cause till I beat time, I'll just keep squeezing you. I love you, Mom.
Sylvie?
Wow, that was really beautiful. But while I pull up my poem, I guess I didn't think about giving it a little introduction, but this one was created a couple months ago. And without getting too political directly, it was because there's a lot I'm seeing in the media and public sentiment, and it makes some women feel trapped. So I wrote this about that. It's called Cradle Maiden. Woman, you are beautiful. Smooth-skinned yet wizened, she knows what they mean. That the most beloved instrument is convenient and sings only the tunes asked of it. That even the freshest set of tawny oak shelves can gain sophistication when the carver's blade begins its gentle gouging. Woman, you have a tender heart, better than a bleeding, barely seared steak, rich with iron and densely packed hopes, and we hunger. Oh, it is all we know. With steady fingers, she passes her leaking love down to the grasping swarms of small hands, with soft, pinkish fists like the swelling pomegranates of her mother's orchards. And with a rusted gaze, she watches as they mash her aorta against their underdeveloped gums, not quite alive enough to force out whitened pearls. They mumble through ever-tight lips. Woman, you have ribs like a bassinet and gate hips. Your body must bring into being what once was not. You are catalyst, start of all. She sits on her hands and waits as they smear their stained fingers against the chiffon frocks she so loved, the babbling, stumbling, head-pounding, drooling greed not quite born from naivete. She wishes for the salty kiss of the sea and hopes for the tart, forgiving burst of a pomegranate seed against her aching tongue. Thank you.
Anybody else?
So already 2 people already recited this poem, but I'll recite it again for you guys. Oh, Captain, My Captain by Walt Whitman. Oh, Captain, my Captain, our fearful trip is done. The ship has weathered every rack. The prize we sought is won. The port I hear, the bells I hear, the people all exulting. With fellow eyes the steady king, the vessel grim and daring. But oh heart, 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 oh the bleeding drops of red were on the deck my captain lies, fallen, cold, and dead. O captain, my captain, rise up and hear the bells. Rise up, for you the flag is flung, for you the bugle trills, for you bouquets and ribbon wreaths, for you's the shores a-crowing. For you they call the swaying masses, their eager faces turning. Hear, captain, dear father, this arm beneath your head. It is some dream that on the deck you've fallen cold and dead. My captain does not answer. His lips are pale and still. My father does not feel my arm. He has no pulse nor will. The ship is anchored safe and sound, its voyage closed and done. From fearful trip to victor ship comes in with object won. Exalt all shores and ring o' bells, but I with mournful tread walk the deck. My captain lies, fallen cold and dead.
This is actually a cut Shakespeare monologue for reference, but this is from one of Benedict's monologues from Much Ado About Nothing. This can be no trick. Love me? Why, it must be requited. They say the lady is fair. 'Tis a truth, I can bear them witness, and virtuous. 'Tis so, I cannot reprove it, and wise, but for loving me, by my troth, it is no addition to her wit, nor no great argument of her folly, for I will be horribly in love with her. I may chance have some odd quirks and remnants of wit broken upon me, because I have railed so long against marriage. But doth not the appetite alter? A man loves a mean his youth that he cannot endure in his age. Shall these quips and sentences and paper bullets of the brain a man from the career of his humor? No, the world must be peopled. When I said I would die a bachelor, I did not think I should live till I were married. Here comes Beatrice now, by this day she is a fair lady. I do spy some marks of love in her. Thank you.
So this poem is Becoming a Redwood by Dana Gioia, and it is the original Poetry Out Loud poem that I performed at my school that got me here, but then it got removed from the catalog. Stand in a field long enough, and the sounds start up again. The crickets, the invisible toad who claims that change is possible, and all the other life too small to name. First one, then another, until innumerable they merge into the single voice of a summer hill. Yes, it's hard to stand still, hour after hour, fixed as a fence post, hearing the steers snort in the dark pasture, smelling the manure, and paralyzed by the mystery of how a stone can bear to be a stone. The pain the grass endures breaking through the earth's crust. Unimaginable the redwoods on the far hill, rooted for centuries, the living wood grown tall and thickened with 100,000 days of light. The old windmill creaks in perfect time to the wind shaking the miles of pasture grass, and the last farmhouse light goes off. Something moves nearby. Coyotes hunt these hills, and packs of feral dogs. But standing here at night accepts all that. You are your own pale shadow in the quarter moon, moving more slowly than the crippled stars. Part of the moonlight as the moonlight falls. Part of the grass that answers the wind. part of the midnight's watchfulness that knows. There is no silence but when danger comes.
Okay, so we do have our tabulation done, and Walter is going to present the certificates for the regional finalists, and we will save the last two for the runner-up and the champion. Their certificate will be for their prize. So, hold on. Rhea Carr. Excel Roman Medina. Roman Snowben. Colvin Davis. Bethel Lutz. I'll try to get this last name right. Mia Siporak. Silas Griffiths. Skylar Hartman. Excel McGee. Sarina Lee. And our runner-up, and I cannot tell you how very, very close all of these scores are. Rachel and I were spending time double-checking things because they were skin-tight close. Our runner-up is Margie Kalek. And our winner is Sylvie Tergeson. And remember that our runner-up will be waiting in the wings in case for any reason our champion cannot attend in Sacramento. Congratulations to all of you. You did a fabulous job. Oh, this is in Walter's script, but I'm going to read it. Oh, you're
Go right
here.
ahead.
Okay, all right. Well, we want to thank all of our judges, of course, all of the parents, all of the teachers, all of the people that made this possible. Thank you so much to our brave students who stand up in front of their peers and recite poetry that they have memorized. It's very exciting. I would like to tell you that we will be back at the Central Library for our celebration of Read, Imagine, Create. This is the 15th year that we have done this program where students read a particular book and they create something inspired by the book. And it can be anything. We've had cookbooks and poetry and films and everything, puzzles, games. And so that is on April 7th. And if you are a student and you are interested, there is still time to participate in that program. The book this year is When the Emperor Was Divine. It is about a family that goes into a Japanese internment camp. So let us know if you're interested in participating, you or a sibling, or it's open to middle and high school students. And
Thank you all. Thank you all, and good night.